Some places defy belief, where nature paints on a scale beyond imagination, where history is etched into stone, and where the world feels almost too surreal to be real. From landscapes that seem lifted from another planet to hidden wonders carved by time, today at Stellar Eureka, we're exploring 20 of the most beautiful places on Earth. Waitomo Glowworm Caves, New Zealand, a river of stars beneath the earth, where the darkness glows with an ethereal blue light. Deep under the rolling hills of New Zealand's North Island, a hidden world shimmers in the shadows. Here, thousands of glowworms cast their ghastly glow across the underground chambers, transforming the caves into a celestial dreamscape. Carved by water over 30 million years, these limestone caverns are an ancient masterpiece. Their walls sculpted by time, their ceilings adorned with delicate stalactites. But the true magic lies above the subterranean river. Tiny bioluminescent creatures, New Zealand glowworms, dangle from silk-like threads, luring prey with their eerie, otherworldly glow. Drifting silently on a boat through the glowworm grotto, it feels like sailing through the cosmos. No sound but the water, no light but the shimmering constellations above. Early Maori legends spoke of these caves as a place where spirits journeyed to the afterlife, and today their beauty remains just as otherworldly. Seven Sisters Cliffs, UK. Like a fortress sculpted by time, towering walls of chalk stand defiant against the relentless pull of the sea. Waves crash against their base, slowly carving, reshaping, yet the cliffs endure, rising in stark white contrast against the endless blue of the English Channel. For centuries, these windswept heights have been a beacon for sailors, a muse for poets, and a silent witness to history. Stretching across the Sussex coastline, the undulating peaks form a landscape as dramatic as it is fragile. Unlike the white cliffs of Dover, which are protected from erosion, these are left to the mercy of the elements, ensuring their brilliance remains untamed. But this natural spectacle comes with a cost. Each year, the cliffs retreat, surrendering to the very forces that created them. Beneath the surface lies a deeper history, formed by the skeletons of microscopic sea creatures over 60 million years ago. The cliffs themselves are an ancient time capsule, and scattered among their edges, relics of a war still linger, of an era when these heights were Britain's last line of defense. Socotra Island, Yemen, a land lost in time, where nature has rewritten the rules. Rising from the Indian Ocean, this remote island is like nowhere else on Earth, a forgotten world sculpted by wind and isolation, home to life forms found nowhere else. Jagged peaks rise from the heart of the island, while sprawling sand dunes shift with the breath of the monsoon. But the real wonders stand rooted in the ancient soil. Here, dragon's blood trees stretch their umbrella-like canopies toward the sky, their crimson resin once prized as a medicine, dye, and even war paint. Towering bottle trees swell like something out of a dream, their swollen trunks storing water to endure the relentless desert heat. Nearly a third of the plant life is endemic, survivors of an ancient past thriving in one of the most alien landscapes on the planet. For centuries, sailors whispered about this strange island, a place of legendary riches from myrrh and frankincense to the lost echoes of ancient trade routes. Even today, reaching its shores is no simple feat, but for those who make the journey, Socotra is not just a destination, it's a glimpse into a world untouched by time. Vinicunca, Rainbow Mountain, Peru, a mountain unlike any other, where the earth itself seems to have painted a masterpiece. Hidden high in the Peruvian Andes, a breathtaking spectrum of colors ripples across the land. Red, gold, turquoise, and violet streaks etched into the slopes like the brushstrokes of an ancient artist. But this is no illusion. These vibrant layers are the work of time itself, formed over millions of years as minerals settled and transformed beneath glacial ice. For centuries, this radiant marvel remained unseen, locked beneath a frozen shroud. Only in recent decades, as the glaciers receded, did the colors finally emerge, revealing one of nature's most spectacular hidden treasures. Reaching this remote wonder is no easy feat. The journey demands perseverance, over 16,500 feet above sea level, where the thin air makes every step a challenge. Under shifting skies, the mountain glows in the morning light, its colors changing with the sun, a place where time, geology, and the forces of nature have conspired to create something truly extraordinary. Lençóis, Maranhenses, Brazil. In this desert, the dunes are alive. They move like waves, shifting up to 80 feet per year, sculpted by relentless winds. But here's the catch. This isn't a desert at all. Each year, torrential rains transform this barren expanse into something almost unreal. Thousands of crystal-clear lagoons, shimmering between rolling dunes of pure white sand. A fleeting paradise, vanishing as quickly as it appears. With no rivers feeding them, these pools exist only because of the land's impermeable rock, trapping the rainfall and creating a landscape that shouldn't exist, a desert that breathes with the seasons. Some of these lagoons stretch over 300 feet long and reach depths of 10 feet, making them large enough to swim in. And beneath the surface, the fish that defies logic. The wolffish has adapted to survive the extreme cycles of drought by burying itself underground, lying dormant until the waters return, as if resurrecting from the sand. But even more bizarre, the dunes sing. When the wind rushes over the sand in just the right way, it produces a deep, eerie hum, like the voice of the desert itself. It's a place where nature bends reality, where water and sand are locked in an eternal dance. Montserrat, Catalonia, Spain. Rising from the Catalan landscape like an ancient citadel, Montserrat is a place where nature, faith, and legend collide. Its jagged rock formations, sculpted by time and wind, soar over 4,000 feet, creating a silhouette unlike any other. At its heart stands the Santa Maria de Montserrat Monastery, a Benedictine sanctuary that has drawn pilgrims for nearly 1,000 years. Within its walls rests La Moreneta, the Black Madonna, Catalonia's most sacred icon. According to legend, her image was discovered in a cave by shepherds, guided by an unearthly light. To this day, visitors hike or take a funicular to the Holy Grotto, tracing the footsteps of those who first glimpsed her. But Montserrat is more than a spiritual retreat. It's an adventurer's paradise. Its towering cliffs challenge rock climbers, and its labyrinthine trails reveal breathtaking vistas at every turn. A place of devotion, exploration, and mystery, Montserrat stands as one of Catalonia's most unique natural and spiritual landmarks. From the towering peaks of Montserrat, where faith and nature intertwine, to a place where time itself seems suspended, thousands of miles away, another sacred site stands, not in the heights of a mountain, but in the heart of an ancient kingdom where ruins whisper of an empire lost to fire and water. Ayutthaya Historical Park, Thailand. Faded spires pierce the sky, their ancient stones kissed by time. Crumbling ruins stand as silent echoes of a lost empire, once a city of golden palaces and thriving markets, where merchants from across the world came to trade in silk, spices, and dreams. 4 centuries of prosperity gone in a single night of fire and war. But Ayutthaya is not a place lost to history. It's a city caught between past and present, where time has slowed but never truly stopped. The Buddha head, entwined in the roots of a banyan tree at Wat Mahathat, is an image that lingers in the mind, serene, eternal, a symbol of resilience. At Wat Prasi Sampet, 3 majestic cherries still hold the ashes of kings, while Wat Chainatanaram cast its reflection on the river, a Khmer-inspired masterpiece standing defiant against the ages. Walk these ruins and you're stepping through history itself. Monks in saffron robes still chant within the temples, wooden houses line the waterways, and the scent of street foods drifts through the air. Verdon Gorge, France. A canyon of towering limestone cliffs and impossibly blue waters, the Verdon Gorge is often called the Grand Canyon of France, but no comparison quite does it justice. For millions of years, the Verdon River has carved its way through solid rock, creating one of Europe's most spectacular landscapes. At its deepest point, the cliffs soar over 2,300 feet, their rugged faces shaped by wind, water, and time. On a clear day, the river glows with an intense turquoise hue, a result of glacial minerals suspended in its flow, a place where nature's power is on full display. From the Route de Crête, the gorge unfolds in a series of jaw-dropping vistas, each bend revealing a landscape that feels untouched, almost ancient. Birds of prey circle the cliffs, their shadows gliding over rock faces that have stood for eons. Below, the river winds through the depths, silent and relentless, an artist still at work sculpting stone. Lake Como, Italy. Framed by the towering Italian Alps, this shimmering lake has been a sanctuary of beauty and indulgence for centuries. Its waters, an impossibly deep shade of blue, stretch across 56 square miles, reflecting the pastel-hued villages and grand estates that line its shores. But beyond its breathtaking beauty, Como is a place of legends, cinema, and timeless allure, a retreat for Roman emperors, a muse for poets like Lord Byron, and a playground for modern celebrities. Its distinctive Y shape has sculpted a landscape of enchanting waterfront towns, from Bellagio's sun-drenched promenades to Varena's charming cobblestone alleys. Grand villas like Via Carlotta and Villa d'Este have long been havens of nobility, but one estate stands out even in the world of fiction: Villa Barbianello, immortalized in films like Star Wars, Attack of the Clones, and Casino Royale. Yet Como's secrets don't end with its glamorous reputation. Beneath its tranquil surface lies a world of mystery, with depths plunging over 1,300 feet, ancient ruins resting beneath its waters, and sudden underwater drop-offs that make swimming outside designated areas forbidden. Whether you're cruising across its shimmering expanse or watching the golden sunset behind its alpine peaks, Lake Como remains a place of magic, history, and cinematic grandeur. For centuries, Lake Como has been a retreat where emperors, poets, and movie stars have sought beauty and escape in its serene waters and grand villas. But what happens when a kingdom doesn't just seek refuge, but carves one out of the very rock itself? Vardzia Cave Monastery, Georgia. Carved into the cliffs of Georgia's Erusheti Mountain, this hidden city is frozen in stone. More than just a monastery, this medieval wonder was a sanctuary, a fortress, and a thriving cultural hub. Spanning over 1,600 feet with hundreds of chambers, it was built in the 12th century under the rule of Queen Tamar, Georgia's first female king, a ruler whose name still echoes through history. At its heart lies the Church of the Dormition, where vivid murals depict biblical scenes and Georgia's royal lineage. Among them is one of the only surviving portraits of Queen Tamar, a woman who defied expectations and led Georgia into its golden age. These frescoes, painted over 800 years ago, remain some of the finest examples of medieval Georgian art. But even stone is not immune to time. Earthquakes shattered parts of the monastery, invasions left scars, yet Vardzia endured. Today, a handful of monks still live within these ancient walls, their chants echoing through the tunnels just as they did centuries ago. A city carved into the rock, a history carved into legend, Vardzia is Georgia's most extraordinary hidden wonder. Skellig Michael, Ireland. There are places that feel untouched by time. Skellig Michael is one of them. Rising from the Atlantic like a lost world, this craggy island, 8 miles off Ireland's coast, is a place of isolation, endurance, and legend. For over 1,400 years, monks lived on this rock, carving a monastery from its cliffs. Their home? Beehive-shaped stone huts, stacked with no mortar, standing defiantly against the ocean's wrath. They drank rainwater, fished the surrounding seas, and climbed these very steps daily in prayer. With no protection from the elements, life here was a test of both faith and resilience. Today, Skellig Michael is more than a relic. It's a sanctuary for seabirds, a test of endurance for those who dare to visit, and for some, a connection to a galaxy far, far away. But standing at its peak, surrounded by sky and sea, history feels closer than ever, whispering in the wind, carried by the waves. Monastery of Varlaam, Greece. A fortress in the sky, where stone and faith defy the impossible. Rising from the sheer cliffs of Meteora, this sacred retreat clings to its rocky throne, suspended between heaven and earth. Time has tried to wear it down, the wind, the rain, the centuries, but still it stands, an unshaken sanctuary above the world below. Its story begins with a lone ascetic, Varlaam, who climbed these cliffs in the 14th century, seeking solitude in the clouds. Here he carved out a place of devotion, but after his passing, his sanctuary faded into silence. Then, in the 16th century, two brothers arrived, Theophanes and Nectarios Asperatus, determined to bring life back to this forgotten monolith. The challenge? Building a monastery atop a summit that seemed unreachable. With nothing but ropes, pulleys, and unshakable will, they hoisted stones, timber, and supplies for 22 years, just to complete construction in a mere 20 days. Inside, centuries-old frescoes whisper tales of saints and kings, their colors untouched by time. The monastery's ancient pulleys still hang beside a massive 16th century oak barrel, once used to store water through scorching summers. A relic of resilience, a monument to devotion, Varlaam remains a testament to what humanity can build when the heavens call. Bonifacio, France. Suspended between sky and sea, Bonifacio clings to the towering white cliffs of Corsica, its medieval citadel seemingly defying gravity. From a distance, its pastel-hued buildings jut over limestone ledges, sculpted by relentless winds and crashing waves. Below, a deep fjord-like harbor has sheltered sailors for over 1,000 years. Founded in 828 AD by Bonifacio II of Tuscany, this ancient stronghold has endured sieges, naval battles, and shifting empires. The Genovese ruled over 5 centuries, leaving not just ramparts, but a dialect closer to Italian than French. Legends whispered that Homer's Odyssey describes these cliffs as the land of the man-eating giants. And in 1420, during a brutal siege, defenders hurled wheels of cheese at their attackers. But Bonifacio is more than its past. It's a world of breathtaking landscapes. The staircase of the King of Aragon, a dramatic 187-step descent, plunges into the sea like a portal to another realm. Offshore, the Lavezzi Islands, a granite-strewn paradise, shimmer with crystal-clear waters. Here, where history and nature intertwine, every corner feels like a place where legend meets reality. For centuries, people have built atop cliffs, shaping strongholds that defy gravity, standing boldly against the sea. But some places weren't built at all. They simply rose, raw and untouched, commanding reverence by their very existence. In the heart of Wyoming, one such formation dominates the horizon, an immense pillar of rock as if placed there by something greater than time itself. Devil's Tower, USA. This ancient sentinel is a sight that commands awe. Standing 867 feet from base to summit, its sheer rock columns seem almost too perfect to be natural, yet they were sculpted by volcanic forces and millions of years of erosion. Declared the first U.S. national monument in 1906, the Devil's Tower Formation remains one of North America's most striking geological wonders. To the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Kiowa, this isn't just a landmark, it's sacred ground. Known as Bear Lodge, its deep grooves, according to legend, were carved by a giant bear's claws as it tried to reach children seeking refuge atop the rock. But Devil's Tower is also a challenge, a vertical maze of columns that draws climbers from all around the world. While its summit is rarely reached, the surrounding prairie teems with life, from playful prairie dogs to soaring golden eagle. Valdorcia, Italy. Some landscapes don't just exist, they're composed like a painting. Valdorcia is one of them. Rolling vineyards, ancient olive groves, and cypress-lined roads form a scene so perfect, it's as if time itself slows down here. But this isn't just nature at its most breathtaking. It's nature shaped by vision. In the 14th and 15th centuries, wealthy Sienese merchants redesigned the valley to reflect Renaissance ideals of beauty and harmony. Today, their legacy lingers in every winding path, every hilltop town, and every stone that has stood the test of time. At its heart lies Pienza, a town sculpted as the ideal city by Pope Pius II. Beyond, medieval fortresses like Montalcino and Castiglione d'Orcia still watch over the valley, their silhouettes etched against the horizon. Even the ruins whisper stories of pilgrims who once walked the Via Francigena, of artists who found inspirations in these hills, of a world that, somehow, remains untouched. 100 Islands National Park, Philippines, a maze of emerald green islets scattered across the sea. This is one of the Philippines' most mesmerizing landscapes. Rising from the Lingayen Gulf, these 124 islands were once part of an ancient coral reef, sculpted over millions of years into towering limestone formations. Their distinct mushroom-like shapes and hidden caves tell a story of time, erosion, and the relentless force of nature. While 4 islands, Governors, Quezon, Marcos, and Children's Island, are developed for visitors, the rest remain untouched, draped in lush foliage and surrounded by crystal-clear waters. Beneath the surface, vibrant coral reefs and swaying seagrass beds shelter an incredible array of marine life, including butterfly fish, angelfish, and the massive giant clams that can live for over a century. High above, rare birds nest in the rugged cliffs, their cries carried by the ocean breeze. For millions of years, the 100 Islands have been shaped by the rhythm of the tides, rising from the sea, sculpted by wind and water, constantly evolving. But across the world, another landscape has endured a very different kind of transformation, not carved by the sea, but by time itself. Manpupuner rock formations, Russia, a landscape frozen in time, sculpted by forces beyond imagination. 7 towering stone sentinels rise from the remote wilderness of Russia's Ural Mountains, standing like ancient guardians over an unbroken expanse of tundra. Formed over 200 million years ago, these colossal pillars, some soaring as high as a 14-story building, are all that remain of a once mighty mountain range carved down by wind, rain, and ice into the mysterious monoliths we see today. To the indigenous Mansi people, this is a sacred ground. Legend tells of an evil giant who pursued a group of hunters across the land until the gods intervened, turning the monstrous figure and his followers to stone. Even now, their silent forms stand unmoving, shaped by both time and myth. Few have ever set foot here. Hidden deep within the Pucharo-Ilchiski Reserve, the journey to these enigmatic formations is as challenging as it is rewarding, accessible only by foot, helicopter, or sheer determination. Those who make the trek find themselves in a place untouched by modernity, where the earth tells its own ancient story in the language of stone and silence. Further north, a very different kind of wilderness awaits. Here, ice reigns supreme, carving through rock, burying ancient secrets, and shaping a world where even the strangest formations seem to defy explanation. Franz Josef Land, Russia. Ice and stone, locked in a battle against time. This is one of the last untouched frontiers of the Arctic. Towering glaciers creep towards the sea, fractured cliffs rise from the ice, and in the silence, only the wind and the distant calls of seabirds remind you that life endures in this frozen wilderness. Beneath its ice-bound surface, this archipelago hides traces of an ancient past. Fossilized forests lie entombed under the permafrost, remnants of a time when these islands were lush and green. But one of its strangest mysteries isn't buried. It's scattered across the barren landscape of Champ Island. Here, perfectly round stone spheres, some as small as marbles, others towering like boulders, dot the frozen ground. Scientists believe they formed over millions of years, yet their eerie perfection has sparked endless speculation. Despite its isolation, Franz Josef Land has witnessed explorers, secret Soviet military bases, and even Cold War airstrips lost to time. Today, only the most daring adventurers reach this frozen cathedral, where the past and the present collide in a landscape that defies imagination. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. A city of stone rising from the jungle, lost for centuries but never forgotten. Towering spires pierce the sky, their intricate carvings whispering the stories of a lost empire. The world's largest religious monument, built nearly 900 years ago, still stands as one of the greatest architectural marvels in human history. Stretching over 150 square kilometers, the vast ruins were once the heart of the Khmer Empire, a civilization that dominated Southeast Asia. At its center, an awe-inspiring temple dedicated to Vishnu, designed as an earthly model of the cosmic universe. Its 5 central towers represent Mount Meru, the sacred home of gods, surrounded by an enormous moat symbolizing the oceans at the edge of the world. Inside, endless corridors are lined with bas-reliefs depicting battles, celestial dancers, and epic tales from Hindu mythology. But history took a turn. After foreign invaders sacked the city, rulers abandoned the Hindu gods in favor of Buddhism, transforming the temple into a Buddhist sanctuary. When Angkor Wat fell into decline, the jungle reclaimed the stone, roots coiling around ancient walls, nature and history locked in a silent battle. From sacred stone temples to a landscape where the earth itself rises like a cathedral, one was shaped by human hands, the other by millions of years of relentless erosion. Here, nature has sculpted its own towering masterpiece, an otherworldly maze where even the bravest must tread with caution. Tsingy de Bemaraha, Madagascar, a world of stone daggers and sky-high spires. This is a landscape unlike any other on Earth. Towering limestone needles stretch toward the heavens, sculpted over millions of years by the relentless forces of wind and water. From above, it looks like an ancient fortress, an impenetrable maze of stone rising from dense forest of western Madagascar. But beneath these razor-sharp peaks lies a hidden world where nature has defied the impossible. Here, the ground itself is a labyrinth, carved by deep canyons and subterranean rivers. Lemurs leap across sheer rock faces, birds nest in the craggy spires, and ancient baobabs cling to the cliffs like relics from another era. The word Tsingy means where one cannot walk barefoot, and in this wilderness of vertical stone, even the bravest explorers must tread carefully. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, this alien landscape is both a geological masterpiece and a sanctuary of life. The world is filled with places that challenge our imagination, where nature and history collide in ways that seem almost impossible. But which of these left you in awe? Are there any hidden gems we missed? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible discoveries. Until next time, this is Stellar Eureka, signing off.